Hey everybody, welcome back to Pocket Change. Today we're doing a special episode of Pick or Pass. I'm joined by my co-host Joel. Joel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Vince. What's up? How's everybody doing tonight, or today, or this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning? We're glad you're with us. We've got a couple great items for you to look at and to see if they
It's a
will
pick.
sell, if we'll pick them or pass them.
Exactly. Hey, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right, what you got?
Now, are you looking up the items?
Yes.
Okay. Here's something I probably am definitely going to list this. This is an item that I had bought to do in a remodel. It's an item I bought to do in a remodel. Ended up, I'm not going to be able to use it because the system that I now have in my house does not use Z-Wave. I paid about $60 for this thing. This is a 3-way Z-Wave dimmer switch. So the question is this something that I can make money on or not? Is this something
What's it
worth
called?
selling? EVA Logic. It's backwards, isn't it? EVA Logic 3-way smart dimmer switch. I can actually probably use my cell phone. See if I can get my cell phone to do it here on eBay. See what it says. Search. See if it pops up.
Did not get it.
No, I'm seeing smart plugs, but I'm not seeing the actual 3-way dimmer switch. Okay, so this item is actually not even on eBay.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere.
You checking for solds?
Yeah, I'm just checking in general, man.
Just put a 3-way Z-Wave dimmer switch. Let's see if we get any hits.
It showed up.
Nothing showed up?
EVA Logic ZW31Z Wave Plus Smart Dimmer Switch. Yep.
Okay.
$25.97.
Ooh. So for me, I'm probably not going to make any money on this. But how many are listed and how many are sold?
I'm looking at it further up, and it looks like there are 5 listed.
5 listed. Okay. How many have sold?
None. But there are Z-Way dimmer switch, a little different. There's 4 of them.
There's
so
none
I think you have
sold?
an opportunity of that exact model now.
But is there any 3-way smart dimmer switches sold within the last?
There are 2. 2 sold. One for
sold.
35 and one for 29.
And there's basically 9 of, not of this, but 9 of the same type. So we would take 2 divided by 9. I'd have to bring up my calculator.
5. 2 divided by 5.
Well, you said there was 4 of a different brand.
That were sold. There was only 5 of them that were available.
Oh, 2 divided by...
They run from 26 to 56 to 75 to $29.99. $29.99 twice.
So you said there was 4 of a different brand sold.
Yeah, that one hadn't sold, but
there's 2 of this one that's sold and 5 listed right now. So that's a 40% sell-through rate.
Pretty quick.
So
for about $28.
I just need to see what I paid for it. I think I paid like $50 to $60 for it, but that's okay. We'll go into my orders here. I'm gonna have to go back, like, good lord, this will be easier to do on the computer. Okay, so I bought it back in December of 2022, and view order details. I paid $33 for it.
Looks like it sells from $29 to $30.
So I can get my money back out of it.
Yes, you can get your money
back out of it. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to get my money back out of it. But so what would be our range here? Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. If you could sell it for, on the bottom end, $29 or $28, you divide that by 2.5 roughly. So you honestly, you need to get it for $10 or less. If you can find these for $10 or less,
make some money.
Then it's an excellent 40% or better sell-through rate. So it'd be an excellent buy. here's the thing. I'm going to say this is a pick. For me, I'm
I
getting rid of
agree.
it and getting my money back out. But I would say these are definitely pick. All right, you go ahead. You're one.
Okay, hold on.
We're still working on getting another computer on this, ladies and gentlemen, so we can let you see exactly what we're doing here on the math.
A novelty
Nov-
radio.
Novelty radios. Okay, I hadn't seen radios like that in a long time. I've seen the little wireless speakers, but if that's still a whole, so that's an FM, AM radio or just FM?
Yeah, an FM AM radio.
Okay.
Double antenna.
Hey, that's neat.
Got lights.
That's neat. Lights up. Okay.
This one looks like an old jukebox. And this one looks like a little PC. It's got the little mouse. If you hit the mouse, it's AM or FM.
That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna say pick. I'm gonna say pick on that. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say pick. Are you trying to make it work?
I'm trying to turn it off. I was hitting the wrong thing.
I can't even hear it.
They both work.
How many are listed and how many are sold?
So I paid $2 a piece for them.
Okay.
So listed, the PC one, there's 7 results. 26, 29, 995. And we'll do the sold on the PC one. There are 9 solds. And they sold from 30, 39, 15, 13.
How many is sold? You got 9 listed. How many is sold?
7 listed and
I
9
thought you said 9 listed. 7 listed.
9 sold.
That's got a 128% sell-through rate.
And it sells for about $20. I paid $2 for it, so it's
But
10.
you just heard what we just said. That's 120. If it's got 7 listed and 9 sold in the last 90 days, that's a 128% sell-through ratio. Also, you said you got them for $2.
Yep.
And they're selling for at least $12, right?
Yes. Yeah. 12 to 20. 9.
We're gonna go to low. That's a, what is that? Lord Jesus. That's a 600% possible return on your money. Even on the low end.
And the jukebox one, there are 3 listed, 7 sold.
So that's even better. 3 listed, 7 sold.
The one that looks like the one we have sold for $23.
That's 233%. That is a huge item if you can find those. Now you got to find them for
Cheap.
probably $5 or less
Yeah.
in working condition. But if you do, that is a 128 and a 233% sell-through rate with over a 600% profit possible. If you
I
get them
would
for the
say
same
that
price
one
he got them for. So I was right, and you were right. That is definitely a pick. That is definitely a pick. You know,
much better than indigenous art.
a whole lot better than indigenous art. Stay away from indigenous art, ladies and gentlemen. It looks good, but it's only got a 6% sell-through rate. Lowest one so far. That's the lowest one we've had, and Benz takes the cake with the highest one. So he's had the lowest and the highest. Lowest with indigenous art, and highest with the little jukebox novelty radio that he got for $2. At least a 600% markup, as well as a 233% sell-through rate. So perfect there, man. You're doing good there. How many of them can you get your hands on?
Now, I got 3. I got that one, and I got another one that looks like a Polaroid camera, but it doesn't work. That one, probably, for parts, looks like it's about $15. So.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, I don't know. Benz and I will discuss that going back and forth sometimes on, is an item worth having if it doesn't work versus.
You know what? It turns on. So I'll probably open it up. It's not tuning to the radio station. So could just be a wire off that I could fix.
Probably rubber band. A lot of them radios like that, they had a rubber band that went from the knob. A rubber band that went from the knob over to the actual turning mechanism to tune it.
Yeah. When you tune it, it doesn't do anything. So it turns on, but it doesn't ever get to a radio station. So I think if I pull it apart and try to fix it, I get like $35 for it because it's a really cool radio. So
Like I said, it's probably a rubber band. Having worked with and
yeah.
rebuilt a lot of electronics like that over the years, it is probably just a rubber band.
Oh, and for Tony out there, this isn't a Wendy's cup because apparently I drink Wendy's cups a lot, and he wanted to know why I was stuck on fast food. So I bought a regular cup. I just used the Wendy's cup because it was big. So I bought a cup. All right, Tony. Thank you,
Hey,
listener.
yeah. So there you go, man. Now you find out he uses Wendy's cups just because they have the biggie cups.
Because I don't eat Wendy's every day. That's what he asked. Do you eat Wendy's every day?
Every
I
day.
I would, but it's not good for you. You gotta stop.
All right.
All right, man. What's your second item?
The second item. Okay. So let's go for old Bibles. Pick or pass.
They are definitely a pick because I listed two this week.
This one I would not sell. This one I would not sell because this is my wife's grandfather or great grandfather's old Bible. I would not sell this one, but I come across old Bibles all the time. They're usually relatively cheap to buy, but there is actually collectors who collect them. How many people actually collect them? How many people actually like them? But we're talking about old Bibles. So you can definitely tell this is an old one. You can look inside. You can. It's easy to tell old ones. It really is. And you can even look at the copyright in here. Trying to see what the actual copyright is on this edition here. It may not be listed. There may not be a copyright on this one because this translation is actually not copywritten. But let's talk about old Bibles.
So I put in vintage Bibles, right?
Okay, that'll be fun. Yeah.
It shows like 55, 1960, 1930. So vintage
Yeah,
Bibles.
this would fall in that.
All right. So there is 17,000 Bibles.
Yeah, but how many
That's-
of them are vintage?
No, a vintage Bible. So I looked up. So
Okay.
vintage Bibles.
17,000.
And 5,500 sold. And they
Get
sold
over
for a decent amount. So this was
5,500 divided by 17,000.
Yep.
That's a 32%, 32.35. So we'll say 32% sell-through rate. So
But
still pretty
listen
good.
It is good. And listen to the prices, right? I got one from 1882, which is more than vintage, should be antique. $165. 1960, $35. Antique, 1908, $15. But it was an auction, so you got to watch that when you do an auction.
$5 might have been messed up. So what I'm hearing is, on average, is around $30 to $50 probably. And ladies and gentlemen, a lot
And
of
some
times,
of them over $100.
Yeah, some of 'em are.
$29.
so you may get lucky. I don't know what this one exactly were. Like I said, this one will not be for sale. This is just one I brought as an example. I've got several other vintage Bibles that I probably will be listing. But here's the thing: whether you are religious, not, doesn't matter. Here's the thing: you usually can pick these up pretty cheap at thrift stores, Goodwill, yard sales. Now, if you pick them up at yard sales, you might pay $1 to $2, maybe even $5 for them. That's still a great return because you're looking around $30 to $50 even on the cheap end. You just want to make sure that it is a vintage Bible. Newer Bibles are not going to sell for as much. I've got one over there that you probably could call vintage because it looks like it is, but it's not. I know for a fact it's not because it's one of my first ones. But vintage ones are going to be pre-1970 when it comes to Bibles as a general rule. I am going to give you a hint on these because I guarantee you if Ben's puts it in, most of your vintage Bibles that you're going to be looking for that's going to determine vintage, if you open it up to the very front and that it says King James, that's a great indication that it's vintage. Now, not every King James is, but if you see something like ESV, NIV, NLT, those are not vintage Bibles. You're not going to find really any vintage Bibles that are those translations because they just haven't been around long enough. I I don't remember when the NIV came out, but they have not been around long enough to be considered vintage. So if it doesn't say King James, it's probably not vintage. Now, you could have an NKJV. That would be possibly vintage. That's possible because it has been out since the early 70s, late 60s. If it says authorized, if it says, or if it just says King James, that's what you're looking for. And generally speaking, that's going to sell for more because even if it looks nostalgic, if it says one of the modern translations, it just means it's not going to be a vintage. And we're talking specifically vintage Bibles right here. So it is definitely a pick, provided you can get it, on the cheaper end.
At a decent price.
Yeah, at a decent price. You don't want to go somewhere and pay $50 for it.
Now I have a King James version of the Bible, Bicentennial, 1776 to 1976. It's got the Liberty Bell on it.
Now that's a specialty Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a different category, but you can actually say that could command more of a price because
it's worth like $25 because there's so many of them. But the one thing I've found that I've done really well with is the pocket Bibles. I bought a bunch of pocket Bibles at a thrift store for 50 cents a piece, and I sold them for $9.95, and they buy them all the time. So those sell very well. I've got a couple of Bibles on cassette. I have Bibles on CDs. They don't seem to sell as well, but definitely anything you find that's a vintage Bible is worth picking up.
Yeah, it's definitely a pick. I mean, with a 32% sell-through rate on vintage Bibles, and again, it's vintage. We can talk about pocket Bibles. That would be a good category to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about, so there's several different categories, but I wanted to specifically focus on, for this one, vintage Bibles.
Okay.
All right.
My
What's your next
second
item?
and last one for the show. Trump.
Beanies.
Well, not beanies. They're just in general, Trump. Anything you got that says Trump on it, whether it's a shirt or whatever.
Okay.
Should you sell it? So Trump paraphernalia. What do you think? Is it a sell or no?
I think that it would be, honestly, anything right now political, anything that says Trump, anything that says Biden, anything that says RFK Jr. on it, I think, especially right now, I think it's a definite sell.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you could even go back, but we'll specifically list with Trump right now, but I do think that a pick would even be like stuff from Obama, the Obama era, I think would still be
sellable. Yeah, I think anything with Trump's name on it, right?
So we'll go back and we'll focus just specifically on Trump for right now. So if you find anything Trump,
if you put the word Trump in there, 240,000 Trumps show up. And that's anything from a bobblehead to a dollar bill, Trump cards, everything. And then if you do the sold, it's 67,000.
So 67, good Lord. 67,000 divided by, what was it, 200 and...
Maybe we should bring that down a little bit. Let's change it to a Trump hat.
Right now, no, just hang on, because we're going to do it right here like this. So anything Trump right now, anything Trump...
Yes. Anything Trump.
You did all Trump stuff, 67,000 sold, 244,000 listed, returns a 27.45% sell-through ratio. Now we can narrow it down there and talk about a hat, we can talk about a belt buckle, we can talk about whatever you want to, but the simple truth of the matter is, I don't know that we need to, because 67,000 versus 244,000, so a 27% sell-through rate.
Yeah, so if you take it down to a hat, it's 14,000.
Okay.
And there are 4,600 sold.
That's a 32.85. What's the average sell on the hat?
Huh?
Average sell. What's the average sell?
It's crazy because there's ones that are signed by him selling for 14 grand.
You
so
know.
let's just do Trump stocking hat. 45 listed, 30 sold.
So that's a rarer item, a 66%.
Yeah, depends on way you look at it. But
It depends. The simple truth of the matter is, let's
if you
take
find
it
something
back.
with Trump on it,
Let's take it back to the very root. If you find something
all
with
right,
Trump on it,
Trump.
you need to look at what it's selling for. So if you come across now,
Yep,
you more than likely you're not going to come across something Trump at a yard sale right now. You
that's
just
why I
probably
got
not.
this.
You got lucky because most people who have Trump stuff right now is they love Trump and they're not getting rid of it. They're keeping it for their nostalgia. But hey, you
I,
did a good job.
these sell for $14.95, and I paid a quarter.
Where'd you get it? Did you get it at your stops today?
I did. I stopped today in Georgia on the way home when I was working, and I got me a Trump hat for a quarter. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put that on there because Trump.
And at a quarter,
25 cents.
selling for $14.95, ladies and gentlemen, is perfect. Now, what does the hats mostly sell for? Not the signed ones, but the hats. Probably what, $25?
Let me go back and put hat in there. Trump hat. But the problem with that is so many hats, right?
Yeah, but we'll take a sample.
So a superb President Donald Trump signed autograph MAGA hat cap PSA DNA, $1,588. So
That's
Trump 2024 $5,
Okay.
$8.12, $7,
So
15,
so
19, 21, 22, 24, 20
okay,
bucks.
we can take an average there. It's going to sell for anywhere from, we'll say, $5 to $20, depending upon if it's 2020 or 2024, or maybe even back to 2016. If you find one 2016, it might be worth a little bit more. But simple truth of the matter is, Ben's did great today getting that for a quarter. It sells for $14.95.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Again, we come back to, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's got a 233% sell-through rate, like his novelty radio, the little jukebox, if you spend $20 buying it, you're screwed. Like me, I spent $33 on my dimmer switch, and it's going to sell for anywhere from $28 to $35. So I'm going to basically get my money back.
But
bought
you
it
get
to
your money
use,
back
not
out of
actually-
something you bought that you thought you were going to use as an actual
Right.
item, right?
Right.
You didn't buy that at a yard sale. But if you're at a yard sale and you can pick that up for $5 or less, definitely a
Right.
good thing, right?
And the same with the Trump hats. You know, anything Trump, and it's okay to dicker. We're going to use that word, dicker. I don't think that has any connotations with it, but it's okay
I
to
got big
dicker with them.
hands. Just want to say I got big hands. No, not like Trump. So.
The Trump reference. It's
We're gonna
okay to.
dick-
So if they got $1 on it, bundle it and throw it in for, see if you can get it for a quarter. You're going to sell it. But
Exactly.
all Trump
Even if
things,
you pay $1, you're going to make your money back.
all things Trump have a 27%. Some items have higher, but all things Trump right now have 27%.
Anything signed Trump stuff is crazy expensive.
It would
So,
be interesting now, just for nostalgia purposes and just for all of our listeners, what would anything Biden come up as? Let's just throw
let's
that
look
out
at it.
there. So let's do a quick search on that.
Hold, please.
Maybe you can get a signed, autographed VHS of him saying he graduated top in his class. I don't know. But I'm kidding anyway. Maybe you can get a swab of Trump's orange. What was it? Like Elvis at one time, he went in places and they cut up the sheets and they sold like 20 million squares of a king size sheet, which makes way more than one sheet, ladies and gentlemen. That's how our candidates have become here lately. Our two main political candidates. RFK's not quite as much, but I'd just like to know, does Biden compare with Trump on the memorabilia sales? And we'll just do a general, because we did 27% on General Trump. Let's see if Biden's followers actually buy his stuff as much as Trump's followers buy his.
Okay, for Biden, if you put President Biden into eBay, you get a total of 4,200 items.
What's the sold?
680.
Divided by 4,200. It's a 16% sell-through rate, ladies and gentlemen. 16.19. So, if you come across
And
Biden,
the highest price thing I see is $250.
so there, if you come across Biden material, His followers don't pay as much for his stuff.
$200, $2.95, $9.99, $1.80, 49 cents,
Okay.
and $1.53 on the
So what
first
I-
page.
So what I'm hearing is if it says Biden on it, you need to get it for a dime or less. It says Trump, you can go up to $1.
I agree. It is crazy that is true, but the president does not command the same price as the non-president. It's odd.
The incumbent non-president, yes. Because it's 16 versus 27. So Trump stuff, for if you want to make money reselling and you want to get in political stuff, Trump stuff sells higher than Biden stuff. I'm not picking a candidate here. We're not getting political. We're just doing some numbers.
We're just straight up
letting you
looking
know
at it.
from a
Apparently,
reseller standpoint.
Yeah. All right. Hey, this has been a great episode. We've done 2 apiece, and you know what? We were doing 3, but it was too much. Thank you guys for stopping by and enjoying Pick and Pass.
We didn't have any passes tonight.
No, they were all picks. They were
All picks.
yeah. Pick it.
All right. Peace.
Bye.